Greetings, Fright fans, and welcome into the lab. I'm Dr. Gangrene, and this week we're going to look at the horror films of Chuck Norris. Now, you might know Chuck Norris best as an action star and martial artist, and rightly so. He's a world-renowned martial artist who's been in such films as Good Guys Wear Black, Lone Wolf McQuade, and the Bruce Lee film, The Way of the Dragon. But what you might not realize is that Chuck Norris made a string of films that have a little bit of darker feel to them. Horror movies, more or less. And that's the movies that we're going to look at today. First up in the list of Chuck Norris films is the 1982 film Silent Rage. Think Chuck Norris versus Michael Myers, and that's pretty close. Except this one has a mad science twist too. Chuck plays Sheriff Dan Stevens, who is called to the scene of a double murder. An unbalanced psychiatric patient flips out and murders his landlady and another tenant with an axe. Chuck captures him, but in a show of extreme strength, the man snaps his handcuffs and kicks open the back door of the squad car. There he is gunned down by the police. His psychiatrist, Dr. Hellbound, played by Ron Silver, and his partner, Dr. Spires, bring his body back to their lab and experiment on it with a brand new technique they've developed, and are able to bring him back to life. He is filled with rage, however, and becomes an unstoppable killing machine, going on a killing rampage that would make Michael Myers proud. It is up to Chuck, aka Sheriff Stevens, to stop him. Next up is a 1987 movie called Hero and the Terror. In this one, Chuck plays Detective Danny O'Brien, a cop haunted by memories of an encounter with a psychopathic killer named Simon Moon, played by Jack O'Halloran. Moon slaughtered women and kept their rotting bodies in his hideout as trophy playthings. Now, 3 years later, Moon escapes from the psychiatric ward and begins his killing ways again. Detective O'Brien is called in once again to play the part of the hero and stop Moon. So, what would you say to Chuck Norris versus Demons from Hell? Yes, please. That's exactly what we get in the 1994 film Hellbound. This film opens with a Star Wars style word crawl telling us about the evils of a dark entity called Prosatanus. It is prophesied that a shining knight from the west would emerge to defeat Prosatanus. We then cut to a group of holy knights and crusaders in medieval times traveling on horseback to confront this demon. They arrive in time to stop the sacrifice of a baby at an altar. They defeat Prosatanus and his minions, trapping him in a stone altar. Cut to 1951, and a pair of grave robbers discover the hidden vault and unwisely open it, releasing Prosatanus once again. Cut to Chicago, present day, or 1994 as it was when this film was made. Officer Shatter, played by Chuck Norris, and his quirky sidekick Jackson, played by Calvin Level, wind up on the case of a rabbi who has his heart ripped from his body, and their investigation leads them all the way to Israel with a showdown with Prosatanus himself. This is where we learn that Prosatanus is indeed a demon from hell, as he even transforms into a demon before being stopped by a roundhouse from Chuck Norris. Hey! Next up is An Eye for an Eye, made in 1981, and while this is technically not a horror movie, it's definitely worth mentioning on this list because it also stars horror legend Christopher Lee, who winds up on the wrong side of Chuck Norris. Never a good idea. And the final entry on our list is an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger, the long-running TV series starring Chuck Norris. This episode was called The Children of Halloween. This one aired on Halloween night 1988 and featured Walker squaring off against a satanic cult on Halloween that was kidnapping children to sacrifice to Satan. So that's it for the horror films of Chuck Norris. What do you guys think? Have you seen these movies? Of them all, I think Silent Rage is easily the best. It's definitely just like watching Chuck Norris versus Michael Myers. There's no doubt that that was the inspiration for that one. And it's actually a lot of fun and well made. The rest of them, well, I guess if I had to rank them, Hero and the Terror would be second, and Hellbound definitely comes in a distant third. That one's directed by Chuck's brother, Aaron Norris, and it's just not anywhere near as good as the other ones. The Walker, Texas Ranger episode is, it's all right. It's for a Walker, Texas Ranger episode, I guess it's pretty fun. I like that it takes place on Halloween, though, and you get to see kids trick-or-treating and stuff, so that's cool. And so, yeah. And then, of course, the movie with Christopher Lee. Anything that has Christopher Lee in it is worth watching. You get to see the two of them in a scene together, and never knew that had actually occurred. Pretty crazy. And Chuck chokes out Christopher Lee, so pretty funny. So again, what do you guys think? Have you seen these films? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Let me know in the comments down below. Stay tuned for more fun stuff in the future, and if you have a suggestion for something else you'd like to see me cover, let me know. Until next time, this is Dr. Gangrene saying, stay mad and watch out for those roundhouse kicks. They'll get you every time.
Son of Satan.
I said drop it.